What's up, crypto gang? Welcome back to another episode. If you guys are new here, we do a giveaway at the beginning of every single episode, and today's winner is 49 Visions. Thanks so much for commenting on one of the older videos and paying me about it. This past time, I just sent you some crypto. On this episode, I go over Pokt Network. It is a new project that has just rolled out their MVP about a month ago, and they are developing effectively the AWS or Amazon Web Services of blockchain, where developers are able to simply interact with blockchains and seamlessly deploy new applications in a very easy way. So a couple of days ago, I went and sat down with Michael O'Rourke, the CEO of Pokt, and we had some kava here in Tampa, Florida. We got to sit down, have some kava, and talk about what DPoS, POS, and all these different types of networks are working on. And also we talked a little bit about his project, Pokt. So when you think about blockchains now and developers working on them, you think that people just sit in front of their computer and hack on top of this blockchain and deploy these dApps every day, all day, and they just try and make millions of dollars. But the reality is blockchains are massive. You are downloading this massive distributed database onto your machine that in some cases with Ethereum is over a terabyte of data. Having to download that would cripple your entire machine. Developers go through Pokt's SDK, and if you are new to development entirely, SDK stands for Software Development Kit. It is basically like an aggregate of tools for developers to get access to when they are working with a new type of software. This is primarily used for things like iOS and Android. So when a developer wants to get access to using blockchain for their application, they download the Pokt SDK, and then they have access to deploy these nodes. And in the relation that I said earlier of AWS, it's basically like setting up an account on AWS, and then you can deploy a node in a decentralized manner, and you can start interacting with the blockchain. You skip the entire step of going directly to the blockchain. You can use the decentralized way of Pokt. They sit in between you as a developer and the blockchain, so you get to choose which one. They're plugged in to Ion as well as Ethereum right now, and it's a seamless experience for you to deploy a new application or dApp in a fast and easy way. One of the most difficult things when we go through projects like this is simplifying it down so that everyone can understand it. So with something like Pokt, I like using examples. So we're gonna use an example of me being a developer that wants to create an iOS and Android application, which is one of Pokt's primary use cases where you can create these decentralized applications and games and so on. So me as a developer, I approach Pokt and I want to download the SDK for iOS as well as Android. From there, I go through the sign up process and create an account. They're trying to primarily focus on the Word account so that me as a developer don't have to emphasize digging deep into crypto, and I don't have to learn all these additional things about downloading a blockchain and interacting directly with the blockchain. I can literally just download the SDK and begin the process. From there, once I've created the account, Pokt spins up a node, and that is when I enter into the realm of creating on top of the blockchain. I could create a dApp, which is the example that I want to use, where I want to create a new NFT. Given that I'm doing a crypto collectible series right now, I think it's pretty applicable. So I spin up a new session on Pokt that is a service node, and this will give me access to all different types of blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and in the future, they're going to be working on multiple other ones, but one that they're doing right now is the Aon network. Not even sure if I'm pronouncing Aon right. It's A-I-O-N, so take it as you will. A lot of unique things that happens after I have downloaded that SDK and I have spun up that Pokt session and they have deployed that Pokt service node. There's a lot of really cool mechanisms that can be used. I can stake tokens on there, Pokt tokens that allow me to earn. Similar to master nodes, when you download a node on the network, you are helping the entire network and you are rewarded in tokens for staking and holding that network up, confirming transactions and having a piece of the network, helping out, whether it's help with governance and whatnot. So if you are holding that node on the Pokt network, there are a lot of great crypto economics that can be involved with that, including rewards in their token. After I've downloaded the SDK, spun up that session node on Pokt, I have access to multiple blockchains using just one line of code. I can deploy new dApps. I can also use something called dApp node that I'll talk about more in the future, in future episodes, but that is effectively a hardware node that sits on the network that you can use to access the P2P economy as well as different dApps. Very similar to how AWS operates, where you don't really actually know how many servers they have running up, probably millions in the background with AWS. But for example, with Pokt, we're not gonna dive too deep into their network itself and the validator nodes, because mainly what I wanna do here is showcase to the developers that are in the community out there what you can do with Pokt and how easily you can do it. And Pokt's trying to do these things in the background, and that's why I don't really want to jump down into the complexities too much. From a rough overview, they have a distributed dispatch node network, pseudo-random the nodes that are switching between the network to help support your application, relay network economics. The Pokt blockchain has verifying relays involved, and very similar to AWS with their auto balancing concepts that they're using to help their customers. Pokt is also using stress testing and data collection to really help you as the developer make sure that things are going correctly. So in other words, there is an iceberg of things that happen where the majority of things happen underwater, but you as a developer just need to know, I deploy this one line of code and I can develop on top of a decentralized network that I get to choose from, whether it's the Ethereum blockchain, the Ion blockchain, Bitcoin, or all these different networks that they're going to be adding to it. It is that layer on top that simplifies it drastically for me as a developer. The question that people are going to ask is, Steve, you are not a developer. Why are you interested in this? Well, my background is in economics. I love crypto economics, and I am interested in this from a node operator's perspective, given my experience in masternodes and spinning up nodes all over the entire ecosystem, whether it's different types of masternodes, delegated proof of stake, or all these different types. I'm interested in the node operator of Pokt. So in other words, spinning up a node using something like dApp node with a hardware node, I can then stake Pokt tokens and I can earn rewards for helping support a decentralized network. If you think about it, if 1 million people like myself that are node operators sit there and hold their node and stake tokens, they are helping distribute the network even further for developers to feel confident that it is actually decentralized. So once you have an entirely decentralized network of nodes and you have people staking, they're holding their Pokt tokens and they are earning rewards for supporting the network, and you have developers deploying new dApps and new applications on top of that network, you have an entirely decentralized infrastructure that's trustless, and they can feel confident that it is in a decentralized manner and it is effectively the AWS of the Web 3.0. In the 90s, you had people spending millions of dollars on hosting, and I see something like that forming in the blockchain space, and having something like Pokt sit in between to simplify it for developers is a must-have. That is it for my overview of Pokt. I tried to boil it down the best I can from a developer's perspective, and all the links to this are going to be in the description below, including their white paper, so you guys can get a chance to check out dappnode.io as well as Pokt Network and get a chance to sign up, check it out, see if you're interested in spinning up a node, or if you're interested in checking out the SDK, because they have deployed their MVP, which is very exciting to see people actually building in the space and allowing others to build. So that is it for this episode. I hope you guys like it. If you did, slap a like. If you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe for more of these videos, and I will see you on the next episode of Pat Crypto.